The Bellas are speaking out about being left off Raw's 30th anniversary show, so we'll see what they're talking about. We'll also check out the latest with MVP, Zelina Vega, and much more. Let's start things off with the continuation to the big conversation that was going around following Raw's 30th anniversary show. Like we previously discussed, the fans were heated with Raw 30 due to the lack of spotlight on both the current and classic women's divisions. Bayley and Becky Lynch's cage match was cut out of the show, and there wasn't a single legendary WWE woman that was given a significant role to play at the 30th anniversary of Raw. If you were to go back a few weeks before the 30th anniversary of Raw actually took place, the Bella Twins were being heavily advertised by WWE to be a part of the 30th anniversary. They were being shown on the graphic on Raw and SmackDown that showed Nikki and Brie Bella as being some of the legends that were set to be at the 30th edition of Raw. Bayley even took to Twitter and started teasing a potential crossover moment between Damage Control and the Bellas on Raw 30. But then, at the very last second, the Bellas were quietly pulled from all advertising for Raw 30, and ultimately played no role in the show at all after previously being listed for the show. Nikki and Brie Bella took to Instagram Live after the 30th anniversary of Raw, and they went viral for some of the comments that they said during that live session. Nikki and Brie said that WWE didn't show themselves nor anything from the women's revolution at all. Nikki also said that WWE was pretty much scared to acknowledge Sasha Banks, since she's now Mercedes Moné and is off doing big things. But like a lot of fans pointed out, Nikki was wrong about one thing. WWE actually did acknowledge Sasha Banks' history with the company because a part of the entire 30-year recap video featured the moment of Sasha capturing the Raw Women's title from Charlotte on Raw. So they did acknowledge Sasha Banks' impact on Raw history. But the part that Nikki was correct on was the fact that the Bellas, for being Hall of Fame members and having legendary careers, were not featured at all on the recap video. And neither was some of the crucial moments of the women's revolution, right around that 2015 to 2017 timeframe. Nikki did also say that the Bellas were a bit overbooked heading into Raw 30. They were advertised for the show and were set to appear, but Nikki says that WWE had no solid plans for them on Raw 30. Then, as the show got closer, WWE had a small idea, but Nikki and Brie were already in New York for a media run for another WWE television show, so they couldn't make it. So the Bellas were plastered all over wrestling headlines for their few Instagram live sessions there. You had one live session where they're hammering WWE for not properly showcasing the women's division, and then the other sessions where Nikki explained why they couldn't appear on Raw 30. The Bellas also recently told a story on their podcast about the big debut segment for Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. Brie Bella revealed that the initial idea was for Stephanie McMahon to come out to the ring and just verbally rip the Bellas and Alicia Fox apart because of the Total Divas series and the Divas era in general. Stephanie McMahon ripping Total Divas apart would have instantly been followed up by the big debuts of all the NXT women. But Brie said that they turned down that idea and refused it because Total Divas was a WWE idea and the cast made it a hit for the company, so they wondered why they were going to be slandered for that. So the idea for the segment had been shifted around a bit, but either way, the Bella Twins are still Hall of Famers. Maybe they just felt a bit disrespected to not see any pieces of their legacy featured for Raw 30th anniversary. We'll see if WWE will make this up to them with a future appearance down the line. Even without a title in his possession, Bobby Lashley has a handful of storylines that are starting to surround him over on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, the main story for Bobby Lashley is his ongoing feud with Brock Lesnar. This feud was left on a cliffhanger following Crown Jewel 2022, and everyone was unsure if the story was continuing or not. But the 30th anniversary of Raw gave us all the confirmation that this story was in fact continuing. So Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar will continue here in the early months of 2023. And of course, the other story that Bobby Lashley has going on in the background is MVP constantly offering him his spot back in the Hurt Business. MVP is in the middle of bringing the Hurt Business back better than ever. He's trying to get Cedric and Shelton on the same page again and find that same unity that they had during their first run together. It also looks like Omos will in fact be the latest new addition for this 2.0 version of the new Hurt Business. Omos is still being managed by MVP, so we're to assume that this is a part of the plans for sure, but MVP's main goal is most definitely securing Bobby Lashley. Lashley is the only Hurt Business member that has won the WWE World title multiple times. He's the real massive star of the group that has been to the top of the mountain in WWE many times. And a part of that success was largely due to MVP. So that's why he's constantly harassing Lashley about coming back. It wouldn't be the Hurt Business without MVP and Lashley leading the charge. It seems like every week we see a segment of MVP trying to talk Bobby Lashley into it, but Lashley continues to respectfully decline. But like we previously talked about, Bobby Lashley re-entering the story can make the decision even harder for Bobby Lashley. Does he quietly handle his business with Brock Lesnar solo? Or does he take the heel route and get the entire new Hurt Business to back him up against Lesnar? If Bobby Lashley starts fighting Brock by himself, then he most definitely can be looked at as a babyface. But if Bobby Lashley does call on the Hurt Business to back him up against Brock Lesnar, you have to wonder if it'll be looked at as a potential heel turn for Bobby Lashley. Usually it's the heels that have the numbers advantage. So if Lashley does go back with him to handle Brock Lesnar, you gotta wonder what exactly will that do for Lashley's character status. But there's a lot to look forward to there with Bobby Lashley's story. Zelina Vega has had a great ride in WWE so far. She found massive success in NXT as Andrade's manager and main mouthpiece. That success even carried over to the main roster for a while. And now, she's co-leading a great new faction on SmackDown. Zelina recently took to Twitter to reveal that she has a lot of exciting new projects and announcements on the way. She had this to say in that tweet, quote, "These next few months are going to be amazing for me. For Tia Trinidad, I'm accomplishing some insane things that I never knew were possible. I can't wait to announce them. One is being announced at the end of this month, one in the middle of Feb, and the other in early March." End quote. So Zelina has some big things coming up both inside and outside the ring real soon. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with the Bellas, MVP, and Zelina Vega? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.